I think we're
Where
live.
is my friend Jeff today? Yes, we are. So where are you today as you're traveling the globe and
I'm
leveraging bringing our community partners together?
I'm hanging out somewhere on the East Coast, not near any water though, but in transit. I'm in a hub location, getting ready for the trip out west to San Diego this week.
Oh, he's going from shore to shore, guys, which is really the longest flight of your life, if you can imagine, right?
Oh, absolutely. But I tell you this, the future is calling. The future is calling, and it's all about vCons. It's all about that intersection of AI and communication, and really a forced rethink of how companies communicate. It means that if you're a vendor in the voice space, your business model changed 3 years ago. You just don't realize it yet. If you have realized it, it means you're already a member of the vCon Foundation, in which case we thank you for that. If you don't know what a vCon is, check it out. It's a virtualized conversation, and in a world where every business, whether they like it or not, is affected by the widespread adoption of large language models somewhere. It gives you the ability to take a conversation and turn it into an asset. It means that you could remember things. If you happen to be in a field where you deal with compliance, you now have no excuses not to be compliant. This is key. It used to be that there was this heavy burden that you had to do this and you had to do that, but there was no technically feasible way. Well, that excuse is gone. It is absolutely feasible. The construct of using memory, trusted memory, which is a conversation, which is a vCon, and having the guardrails for compliance using things like SCID and JLink, those excuses are out the door. And so this week, next week, we're on the vCon Foundation's on the road. And I do believe the future is calling. And the thing is, we're now in an era where voice is cool again, and that's thanks to all the hype associated with voice AI, or is it AI voice? I don't know. But the idea that whether you call into a call center and you have a bot answer the phone. I mean, just yesterday I made a call and I said, "Are you a bot?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "Can I talk to a human?" "There are no humans available." I said, "Thank you." And so. And it's cute, but the thing is, this is just the beginning, and for some people this is a toy, but for others, when you start to realize that a conversation is an asset, the conversation helps you remember what you said, what you did. I mean, it's one thing when you and I talk, I may make notes, I may not make notes, but where do my notes go? As a solopreneur, I'm not running a large contact management system. It's called my brain. Maybe I take out a pad and I scratch. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but it's very old fashioned. Oh, I just blocked myself. But the point is, there's a pad here. There's a pad here, and I actually have something called a pen. And if I had to do a startup to pitch the value of a pen and a piece of paper, you'd be amazed. It should have $1 trillion valuation, but no. But the idea anyway of being able to take those conversations and make them seamless, and then in a business environment, being able to capture each and every conversation and just memorialize it and then add that into the flow of how you do business, whether you're talking to other people, whether you're emailing them, whether you're chatting with them. The virtualized conversation era will transform how businesses communicate internally and externally. It will change profoundly how people communicate. And we're already starting to see it. I don't know how many of your friends are talking to their LLMs like it's their best buddy, naming them. It's like, and Google should really be worried, because it used to be that you go on Google and you search something if you're trying to look up a restaurant. No, now you talk to your buddy. You say, "Okay, I'm visiting Boston this weekend. Can you tell me 3 restaurants that a friend of mine who likes this, and this will find?" And now you're getting your recommendations from your very friendly paid friend. When you pay someone to be a friend, usually they're called consultants, but in this case, it's your LLM. And it's like, what's going on here? And sometimes it will just cater into you and tell you what you want to hear as opposed to what you need to hear. And so there's an argument to be made. But the thing is, our flows have changed. The betas we put on, how we get our knowledge, how we communicate what we want to say and how we want to say it, it's all changing in front of us. And so the virtualized conversation is one of those key anchors that enable us to capture something and say and actually prove it happened, and then provide an ability to be compliant, so that if we're in healthcare, we can make sure that permission is given to share information. If you're in finance, permission is shared to validate a transaction happened. And so there are many different guardrails for compliance. In fact, the reason I'm going out to California this week is to co-keynote a conference about compliance. a couple of years ago. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to keynote this similar gathering when they were in Florida. And I spoke to about the vCon. And I think that if you happen to work in telecom and you're working in compliance, vCon is your friend. A vCon will help you verify the information that you need and prove whether you're dealing with cold detail records, whether you're dealing with customer information. It's all there, and it's there for the taking. So a busy week ahead. This week is San Diego. Next week, New York City. And beyond that, we have tentative. We will definitely be going to Atlanta, Bentonville, Arkansas, Chicago. We have an opportunity to be in Detroit. Thank you, Mike Onslow, for that. I should give a shout out, by the way, to Crescendo, who's hosting us in San Diego this week, and Grandstream Networks, who's hosting us in New York City next week. And we're open to other sponsorships too. The Atlanta event is going to be hosted by Grandstream. They got dibs on that. You want us in your city? Bring us aboard. We're happy to be heard, and really provide that nexus where people who are interested in vCons, building with vCons, thinking about what vCons can do. You're all invited. My hope is that we'll have, besides the tell, some showing, sort of like show and tell. We're in kindergarten, and people who are building applications, they get to show off. And so we're looking, we build community from the bottom up, top down, sideways, whatever it takes to help bring vCons into this world. So it's a fun time to be in the vCon space. And from what I understand, Thomas is going to be, that's Thomas Howe. He'll be joining us in New York City on May 13th.
Oh, great.
And rumors are that the vCon RFC is still on track to be coming out this year in 2026. If not, it will be a 27 happening, I hope. But we're certainly on track. So if you're involved in the voice over IP space somewhere, somehow, or just voice, learn about a vCon. It's going to affect your business. If you're a product officer, add it to your one of those checklist items. You must support vCons. It will only help you make more revenue. And in a business world where AI is everywhere, vCons become an important asset for you to support.
Wow. And Jeff, I really appreciate the fact that you've really dealt with the fears and the worries of a lot of people who are entering into the AI space. Also with the fact that vCon is not going away, but more importantly, that we're actually providing a community that will support them in what they're building, what they're sharing, and of course, how to use this in their application, in their businesses. So Jeff, again, tell everybody where you're going to be. You're going to be in San Diego, New York. Tell them where's the best place for them to register, reach out, and connect.
The best way is to go to pulver.com. Pulver.com is my home. You could also find events at vineevolution.com, but our stuff is at pulver.com. The temporary home for the vCon Foundation is temporarily at pulver.com/mission. The actual website for the vCon Foundation is launching shortly, and that will be thevconfoundation.com. But for this week, next week, just go to pulver.com. You can find most of what we're doing right there. And if any of this confuses you, you can always send email to Jeff. That's Jeff at where? Pulver, pulver.com.
Or reach out on LinkedIn, guys. We're always online. We're always
That's
here.
True.
Every single week we come together and we have a conversation about vCon. Reach out and connect.
And by the way, if you're curious about the topic of using vCons to build AI agents with real accountability, that is a wonderful conversation to have. And let me tell you, vCons can help the builder of such AI agents be accountable, because if you're capturing those conversations of your AI agents in flow, you can look back at it and see how they perform based on certain keywords, certain triggers, what worked well, what did not work well. And that's if you're in the flow of how you're doing your deployment, you are wrapping the conversations as vCons and saving them. There's actually, I won't say it's easy, it is, but it is essential to be able to look back at what worked, what didn't work, and help you then re-rig it so that you get better results the next time around and iterate. This is not necessarily a once and done. This is going to continue to iterate to a point where you will not be able to tell the difference, most likely, whether you're talking to a human or someone who sounds like your best friend. There may be certain tells. Right now, it's fairly easy. It's almost like a giveaway. Hi, my name is whatever it is. And it's like, it's so chill. And it's like, and whatever you say doesn't rattle a person. There's, hi there, how are you now? Yes, and thank you for tuning in today. And, human, please, one moment. maybe you get transferred, or then you're told, oh, there's no one in the office today. All you got is me. It's like, okay. So you want those vCons captured because someone has to listen to what's going on and help figure out how we better can deal with all this. But anyway, it's all about the vCon. It's all about virtualized conversations. And I'm very happy to be the Chief Evangelist Officer for the vCon Foundation. And more importantly, we're on the road, San Diego this week, New York City next week.
Wow. Thanks again, Jeff. And thank you so much for the vCon Foundation, really bringing the community together of those who are in the telco space, in the communication space. It's really looking at the industry as a whole. And Jeff, you're bringing us all together again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.